Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As you remember, Russia, Ukraine and the United Nations agreed to facilitate the transport of Ukrainian grain from the Black Sea port of Odessa and whatever other little ports they got over there. And Russia got in exchange its ability to avoid sanctions in selling its grain and as well as fertilizer to the world. That was the agreement. Now it seems like Lavrov comes out and says, you know what, our Western partners do not honor their part of the deal, which is allowing us to sell our, without sanctions, our food supplies and grains and fertilizer to the rest of the world, which means if you don't hold your side of the deal, then I will not hold mine. So that means I will do something about it. So what could they do? Probably say, okay, no more grain, we're gonna make another blockade or something of that kind of nature. So this article comes from Reuters from September 6th, 2022, and Lavrov says, West not honoring commitment to facilitate Russian food exports. And my answer to Mr. Lavrov would be, what did you expect? Again, naive, naive, naive. All right, Russia's foreign, if true, because I don't know if Lavrov just comes over there and blows hot air around. So Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Tuesday that the West was not honoring its promise to help Russian food and fertilizer exports reach global markets, raising potential questions about Russia's commitment to a landmark grain deal struck with Ukraine. So that means if you're not doing what you said, why would we? And then again, it's going to everybody's going to point fingers at one another. Now, obviously, I can't verify if what Lavrov claims is true. I don't know if this is just a way to hurt the world and say, okay, we're going to make up this story, and by that, we're going to act upon the little story that we made up, and we will prevent Ukraine from sending grain to the rest of the world. So therefore, everybody's going to be starving. All right, probably this is going to be the scenario portrayed by the, how do you call it, Western corporate media. So Lavrov said the West had not relaxed sanctions to make it easier for Russia to ship its agricultural products abroad. Moscow saw the commitment as key part of a July deal broken by the United Nations and Turkey to end the blockade on Ukraine's grain exports from its southern ports and ease a looming global food crisis. And I'm quoting Mr. Lavrov. Our Western colleagues, he calls them colleagues, this is a diplomat right here, our Western colleagues are not doing what we are promised by the United Secretary General, Lavrov told a news conference in Moscow. Well, it's complicated. If he promised you, he can't make anybody do anything because the United Nations is just a straw man. And I'm quoting, they are not taking decisions to remove the logistic sanctions that prevent the free access of Russian grain and fertilizers to world markets, end quote. I will take this as a scenario that's true, and the other one that's not true, I already mentioned it. But if it's true, they can't do anything. Gutierrez of the United Nations can't do anything about it. What is he going to do? Go and get the United States by the... He's not going to be able. The United States is going to say, back off, little gnat. That's what it's going to be. So Moscow says Western sanctions make it harder to arrange shipping and insurance of its cargoes, even though they do not directly target its food and fertilizer exports. So we get tangled in the details, I'm guessing, but the details, prevent them from doing what they were promised. I mean, you were promised, or you were, it's on the paper that you signed over there. Lavrov said, because if he goes by promised, Remember, NATO promised you that they will not move 1 inch eastwards towards Russian border. Remember that? Promised Soviet Union. So if it's about promises, you know how that is in writing. Lavrov said he was in contact with the UN and was pressuring the world body to ensure Western countries upheld their end of the grain deal. All right, so that's a deal. The arrangement remains the only significant diplomatic breakthrough in the 6-month war launched by Russia against Ukraine. Well, you're gonna lose that very soon. You're gonna lose that very soon, and it's just I don't want to give you certainties here, but my assessment is that those guys over there, that we don't know the faces, we don't know the names, but we know the interests. Some we know the face of 1 or 2 who are over there, but those people don't really care about us not having enough food, or people from other regions of this world having less or not, or they really, for them, we are just commodities, and the commodity comes and goes. And that reminds me of and if you really want to know that, if you are not convinced by that, I'm not going to try to convince you, but I will just mention you 2 stories that I had here in the United States when I came here from fairly young, and that would be / immature, and I was expecting that from the family and the people I was around, that world is good, people are good, not really good, but not that bad. But as you live your life and experience, I think you realize that the human race just drops lower and lower and lower until it hits, and when you think that it can't go lower, it goes. Well, I think for me it reached the bottom now. But anyway, I would like to tell you 2 stories just to exemplify how some people here, owners of businesses, not leaders of the world, but owners, they have power, unchecked power, talked unchecked, because they can fire you and hire you, and fire you for whatever reason they might figure out that they need to find. So I had 2 of them, and they told me like this. They were the owners of these companies, and they told me that hey, Emil, look at them. I was not in a management position, so he was telling me, Emil, look at them as being tools, like a screwdriver, or like a machine, something. It's a machine. When that breaks, you just throw in the garbage and buy a new one. Means fire that person, or if that person cannot perform anymore, get rid of it, is not performing, and then buy another one, hire another one. That's how he told me to look at this. And the other story was with a coffee cup, a foam to go cup. And this owner told me, Emil, look at people as being piles of shit. Or at least look at like it's a cup. I said, a cup with a shitty face. Now you hire this cup with this shitty face, and then you fire that one and you hire another one with another shitty face, but the same cup. So get it and goes. You don't build relationships with your employees or fellow co-workers. That's 2 examples. And I was at the beginning, and these things shocked me, because it was the first time when it was really told to me like that. And I thank those people, because I learned something. And it was not only those people, but those I remember like vividly, because they shocked me. And because I liked the people, both of them. I liked the people, and I couldn't. I was kind of, like a very shocking, because these people that I like think like this about. You know what I mean? So if these people here talk about business, you had a freaking business in a country, not even a business that is global or something. Imagine how is the guy over there that doesn't even have faces, doesn't have to meet people, that has power to take care of, let's put it this way. So they have a different mentality. As the former British Prime Minister Disraeli, in the 19th century, said, well, those people who are in charge of this world, that's what he said, they are very, very different than you and I. All right, well, I said, how can they be so different? Well, in what way? Well, I learned little by little, and if you want to just have a glance at that, just look at, what's his name, Klaus Schwab. He's a very, very different person. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.